Hi, my name's Jason, and I love electronic music. I love the gear we use to make it, and this channel is devoted to both. Thanks for joining me today. I want to talk about transitions today. This is an important part of electronic music, and what I want to talk about is slowing down and having fun with these, and especially learning to utilize your hardware to create unique transitions that become kind of part of your sound. So yeah, if that sounds good to you, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Now, the way that I look at transitions is you are increasing the energy in some way or increasing the dynamics in some way. And when you've got a synthesizer that allows you to modulate multiple parameters, it's kind of like a playground for transitions. And your mod wheel is your best friend. If you can program in multiple settings into that mod wheel, then it kind of acts as your all-in-one, swelling it in and swelling it out. Let's start out now with using the LFO. So a classic way of adding a transition is having it so that it starts out without any vibrato and then increasing the vibrato so that it gets more and more intense. And that's really easy to do with the Take 5. You just get into your mod matrix, and then right now it's set so that there's only a plus 20 increase in the LFO amount as we move the mod wheel. Let's go so that we have it really dramatic. Right, that can be a simple transition. If we add some effects, here's how it can sound. Right? And I've got like a little bit of a beat going here so you can hear it in context. So if we bring out the kick. Really simple, but it's effective. Now, one more thing you can add to that is pitch. And once you've got it in there, you can start to mess with the volume and all that sort of thing. Kind of what I like to do is try out the idea and record takes into my DAW, and then you can go back and edit it and make it sound perfect in terms of volume and all that stuff. When it comes to transitions, paying attention to the details really does set your productions apart. Now, another thing you can do is bring in some reverb and some delay as it builds up. You can't do that with the pedal, but if you've got onboard effects and you can route your mod wheel to the mix, there you go. You've got it so that you can bring that in and swell it in and add even more dramatic effects. So let's dial that in. Source, assign the mod wheel, and destination, the depth, and have it so that it's going to come in quite dramatically. And then the same thing with the reverb. Okay, so now listen to this, how dramatic this ends up being. We start down low. Right? It doesn't take much for it to be quite a dramatic swell in, a dramatic transition. We can take down the decay a little bit so it's not so crazy. Let's try that in context. Here we go, 4 bars. Good. You see what I mean? And kind of the world is your oyster here. You can mess around with increasing the drive, maybe adding in another oscillator. Get creative with it. That's what I mean. Enjoy the time playing with this. Okay, let's just talk about the cutoff now. So that it's just a simple swell in. And by the way, when you have a really nice analog synth, that can be enough. If you're just kind of creating that analog vibe, then you don't really need to stack a whole bunch of things. Just featuring that filter cutoff can really add some cool things. Okay, so that's just bringing in our humble low pass filter. If you've got a high pass filter or a band pass, that's also a really cool option. And this doesn't have band pass, but you can get that happening by bringing in the high pass filter and kind of routing things so that the low pass and high pass are going at the same time. We want the depth all the way. And I'm gonna route the cutoff to the mod wheel for this one. So again, mod wheel, source, and it's gonna pretty much go all the way. So this kind of creates a cool thing where it starts out pretty deep and then it's going to kind of gradually get out of the way as things are coming in. This works well if you have like a snare roll that's also happening at the same time. Let's do a 4-bar. Forget, you can always do the same thing in reverse as the kind of breakdown or swell down, whatever you want to call it. We still haven't brought in our LFO, which is another step that you can bring in to add even more complexity. So here we can have it so that the LFO is affecting the low pass filter or the high pass filter, and the mod wheel will increase the amount so that, and also the frequency of it, so that it gets more and more dramatic. So here's how that would sound. Right? It's increasing the speed, and I really like it. I mean, this is where it becomes a matter of taste, but I like it so when the frequency goes up enough so that it actually starts doing like frequency modulation, like it actually, the LFO starts to get into what they say the audio range, so that it adds this like grit to it at the end of it and it starts out that way. But again, that's a matter of taste. You can have it so that it doesn't hit that. So let's just have it with some drums. Okay, it's just going to come in. Now, as the third thing we're going to do, we're going to have fun with noise, transitions with noise. And this one, we can kind of utilize the filter and the noise. We've been doing a lot with tonal transition sounds. Now we're getting into like atonal transition sounds. And here we can have the kind of noise from the white noise. And we can also, don't forget, kind of get FM happening so that it's kind of another type of atonal noise. So here it can just be as simple is having some delay, some reverb, and playing with the cutoff knob. It's actually a really satisfying process. Right, just nice, and then you can do the same thing. Lots of delay in there. Again, you can go in and edit it after the fact. And now all the other aspects can apply here. You can have it so that it starts out with no reverb and starts introducing reverb here. And also I really like it when we have the high pass filter. I find that it's always cool to try to have your risers be in stereo using chorus or something like that that's going to spread it apart. So let's check this out. Add some delay. Oh yeah, don't forget to try it with or without the resonance, because the resonance can add very different sounds. So without. So play with that as well. See which one you like better. See which one's suiting the vibe of your song. That's noise, and obviously the sky's the limit with that. Let's also try introducing some FM-y stuff. Now with that, on the take 5, we have it so that oscillator 2 can be affecting oscillator 1. So you can play with that in terms of what you like the sound of and the way that it's going to work. Whatever key that you end up playing is going to have a bit of a different tone to it. So you can decide if you want it to be kind of in tune with the song or just be like an atonal thing. Right? FM can really make things interesting. And then again, apply whatever you want. If you have that FM thing happening, you can try bringing in an LFO that increases the kind of frequency modulation of it in terms of like the pitch. So it's got that wobbly pitch sound. You can have it so that the LFO is affecting the filter cutoff. You can mix and match all of these things that we're doing. Okay, so that was a bit on transitions and utilizing different aspects on your hardware. I hope you see just how fun it can be. This can be a real playground for sound design, sound exploration. Don't be afraid to think outside the box, get creative. When you go to a hardware synthesizer, I think there's kind of no comparison there in terms of how much fun it can be. So if you liked what you saw today, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Really glad to be able to hang out like this. Until next time then, take care. Bye.